Have you ever thought about where your produce comes from? Most grocery chains receive produce from various local and national farmers. In fact, there are about 3.4 million farmers in the United States today. But of that staggering number, only 45,000 are Black farmers. At the Better Buggy, we are a proud group of Atlanta-based Black-owned farmers, selling produce locally and nationwide. Our easy-to-navigate online platform makes it easy for you to make a one-time purchase or to simplify your life by subscribing to our weekly produce box. Whichever frequency you choose, you can order with confidence, knowing you'll receive 100% organic farm-fresh produce. If you're looking for a thoughtful gift for a loved one that they'd actually find useful, be sure to pop by our online store where you can snag a gift card your recipient can use to order their own produce and t-shirts. Ready to start supporting local Black-owned farms and making healthier food decisions? Visit thebetterbuggy.com now to start shopping.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Black man in this picture actually did an interview with the local newspaper, and this is the Burlington County Times, July 8th, 2021. So his name is Etchu Tanyoh Brandon Tambe, and he believes if the roles were reversed in Friday's confrontation with a racist tirade where police were called to intervene, he would have been shot. And he's absolutely right about that. If he was the one causing all of the problems, they would have came out with their guns drawn, especially a Black man outside carrying on and causing problems. It would have probably been 30 cop cars up there. I understand you have to try to de-escalate the situation, but the way Edward Cagney Matthews was approaching the police, at no point did the officer make an attempt to even reach for his weapon. And that's true. He didn't, said Tambe, of how an officer approached the man caught on video accosting Black neighbors with racist taunts. And then you keep talking to him in a calm voice, like, and that's what that officer was doing. He was just calmly talking to him. Oh, go home, go home. I'm like, what kind of damn? There are a lot of people that are calling for that officer that told him to go home to be fired. A lot of people are demanding that he get fired because he did not handle the situation right. And he definitely was handling this dude with kid gloves, for real. Very obvious. Tambe was at home, in his condo on Friday when his neighbors called to say Matthews was at their door attempting to get in. Okay, so that's why he came out. So they called him. Now, he lives in that same complex with his wife. And Tambe, a senior airman in the U.S. Air Force, didn't hesitate to defend LaRon and Denise Brown. And now a viral video of the incident, Tambe is seen standing guard at the Brown step, ensuring a string of racial insults and physical provocations from Matthews. So he really took the brunt of sparing because the Browns are an elderly couple. So he was just sparing them from dealing with this man. And, being that they called him for help, they definitely, they didn't want that man on their property at all. So, I mean, he was such a troublemaker. Everybody knows if he shows up, it's just to be a racist. I mean, he's done it for 4 years. And though Matthews has now been charged with several bias crimes, Tambe said he no real expectation of justice. So he doesn't believe in the system at all. He doesn't, and I don't blame anyone in this country especially if you're from the black community, even foreign blacks. I mean, they get it sometimes. They get caught up in all of this racist stuff too. My expectation of the police at this point, zero. I have zero expectation, said the 25-year-old Tambe. If it happens, good, but justice should be justice no matter what happens. People shouldn't have to put you under pressure for you to actually seek justice. It has to apply for every gender and race. If you're telling me justice is going to happen because there's a bunch of protesters, to me, that's really not justice to begin with. Tambe said the Mount Laurel police knew Matthews had been a threat to the residential community on many occasions. Yeah, and that's come out all over this week, all over this past week. I mean, this guy has had multiple cases. Now it is in the public eye. Everyone and the chief of police came out there, and I'm like, literally, you're just trying to come out here and just save face, said Tambe. You have been in this place. He said he's been in that place before, and the police department, long enough to know Matthews, has had multiple conflicts with the same MO. So when Tambe heard that Matthews was reportedly provoking black residents again, he knew he had to confront him. I immediately rushed to get there without thinking twice because Denise Brown, always been telling me that he's been harassing them for a while, broke their windows, slashed their vehicle tires. So I kind of had an idea of what I was walking into, given that it was him and the fact that I would try to confront him in daylight. So he's been busting out their windows and slashing their car tires. Wow. Yeah, this dude belongs in jail. I'm sorry. He should never get out of jail. Before arriving on the scene, Tambe checked the security cameras from his phone and says he saw Matthews trying to fight his way into the Browns' home. So that's when he came out of his house. I immediately dashed out there and I was yelling from the top of my voice across the street saying, "Stop, stop, stop. What are you doing?" said Tambe. Once I walked up to him, he was like, "Back off. This doesn't concern you." I'm like, "No, you back off. This doesn't concern you." The airman said Matthew's behavior, screaming racist words and insults, getting in Tembe's face, felt bizarre. It was like one of those surreal moments where, it happens. You think it happens, to other people. But no, this happened to him. But when it hits you in that moment, it's almost like, oh, is this actually happening? However, Tembe knew his response would not only be a reflection of his own character, but also a reflection of his service in the Air Forces. Okay. For one thing, I'm in the military. So, however, I represent myself in and out of uniform says a bit about the force in general, said Tembe. He also wonders if Matthew would have continued his tirade had Tembe been in uniform. He probably would, because let me tell you something. In this country, they do not respect black veterans. That's why you see Karen walking up and starting mess with black veterans. And there's several videos out there of black men being in uniform and being racially harassed. So no, they have no respect for black veterans in this country, but they try to use veterans as a shield against the black community when Colin Kaepernick was taking a knee. You know damn well y'all don't give a damn about no veterans up in here. That's why you see so many of them homeless. So that right there says it all. So don't babble to us no more about no damn veterans when you know you never cared about them. I was really more I'm sorry, it was really more of a shock. And I felt like in my head, I was like, would he be saying these things if I was in uniform? He probably would. He probably would. They don't respect, like I said, many people that look just like him have no respect for a black veteran at all. If he knew I was in the service, but at that point, it didn't even matter because it was out and he was already saying it, said Tembe. Tembe's response was also about honoring his elders. It was also at that moment I knew the issue wasn't about me because it was about me stopping him from harassing the older couple. Tembe said he was further confounded by the police response. Yeah. Oh, stop, go home, go home. What kind of damn response is that for a cop? Yeah, now you know why everybody is demanding that cop that came out the first time be fired. The shocker was when the responding officer called Matthews by his first name. That's saying a lot about his Matthew comfort level to being with. Yeah, yeah, it does. It does. So obviously he knew him well enough to call him by his first name, because I did hear it on the video too when I watched it. I heard him say Ed. So that cop knew exactly who he was. The Burlington County Prosecutor's Office said earlier this week it will conduct an independent investigation into any and all incidents involving Matthew, including a review of how Mount Laurel police handled the Friday confrontation. When the video went viral over the long holiday weekend, activists, supporters, and neighbors showed up at Cagney's doorstep and held an hour-long protest before police eventually took the man into jail on additional bias crime charges. And that's when the prosecutors told the police that he had to be taken into the Burlington County Jail. So they had no choice but to take him at that point. Essex Place residents have said Matthews taunted and harassed black neighbors for at least the past 4 years, but the police failed to get involved until Friday. So there you go. They weren't even trying to get involved. Mayor Steven Steglick has called for a diversity and inclusion board to improve communications with residents and asked for a federal hate crime investigation into Matthew's actions. Tembe said he doesn't want to be viewed as a hero for his actions in the video and described himself as a private person. But he and his family are bracing for public scrutiny now that the incident has been so widely publicized. Well, I wouldn't recommend anybody bother this guy, because as soon as they find out who you are and where you are, they're going to come rolling up on your butt. That would not be a good idea to mess with this black man. We know there's a whole bunch of crazy people out there. And we joke about it, but with the severity of this spotlight, it could bring a lot of scrutiny. It's more likely we're trying to brace ourselves for whatever happens, said Tenby. As for the outpouring of support, Tembe says while he appreciates the public praise, he doesn't want the focus to be on himself, but rather on the larger issue of racism. I don't want to be made the focus of the story because the issue is so much more bigger than I am. So that's what he said. So I am trying to make me like the guy for this. I feel like is disingenuous. So he doesn't want anybody patting him on the back and propping him up, although he did a good thing for that elderly couple. And there's no denying that. I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but there's not a lot of people that would have done what he did. And if you see, look all around you, there's no other black people out there. He put himself out there like that. Nobody else came walking up to help him or say anything to Matthews. You know, that says a lot. Do I like the spotlight on me? No. I do appreciate people recognizing what I do. Yes, it's human nature to appreciate what you see as good. Tembe encourages everyone to make a united front against racism and bias. We have to be our brother's keepers. We have to take a stand in situations like this. There are many other races scattered all across America. So, what is going to hurt them, which will help us overcome all that is just being united and being able to have each other's backs? Oh, yeah. See, that united front in front of Matthew's home. Oh yeah, he was sounding like a whole different person when all them Negroes showed up at that house. He was sounding. He was on the news. He was with the news online, apologizing, talking about this ain't who he is. Well, it sure was who you were for 4 years. It was who you were then. And when you were busting out windows and vandalizing cars, it was you then. Tembe came to United States in 2017 from Africa, said he was guided by his military service and the call to serve and protect. I owe as much allegiance to America as the people who were born here because guess what? This place has given me opportunities I never thought I would have. My allegiance is to this place, and my allegiance is to my friends and neighbors, making sure we're all good because if we're not, it's not going to be conductive, a conductive environment, said Tembe. So, I know he's saying that he didn't do anything special, but really he did. He really did. So, y'all, please tell me what you think. I think he's a great guy. He really, if he didn't do this, Matthews would be sitting at his house right now. Okay, if he didn't do this and somebody was filming this whole thing, this man, can you just picture, would be at his house, coming out of his house every day, bothering a different black person up in the community. The damn shame y'all didn't come together and just jump the hell out of him. But y'all, please tell me what you think. But Matthews is where he should be. Since he can't be peaceful in the neighborhood, keep him behind bars because he don't know how to act. So keep him behind bars. I bet you he won't be walking up on any black prisoner at the Burlington County Jail starting some mess like he did around this community. I bet you he'll sit his behind down up in that prison. He wouldn't dare walk up on any of those black prisoners up in there. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.